There we go. Yeah, and then I'll just bring you in with the other guy. Kyle comes.
Cacao comes. All right, so welcome to the new and improved Tulsa Uncut.
New and improved.
Yeah.
Audio hopefully sounds decent. We have a set.
If it doesn't, we're blaming you.
That's fair.
Fair
That's
enough.
fair.
Fair
That's
enough.
100% fair.
Everything looks good.
Yeah. So what have you been doing?
Okay, so taking life by the horn.
Okay.
Or what is it, bull by the horn, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
I
that
think
too.
life is fine. Yeah.
The whole life. Man, it has been a season of changes. Like the last 6 months, I'm looking at it, I'm like, first of all, we're in June. Does that not freak anyone else out or just me?
No, this year's flown by.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm like literally thinking it's June. I should be buying Christmas presents. Instead, I'm just trying to get through each day.
Yep.
Yeah. So talking about that today, the power in the struggle, and the struggle is real.
Yeah. Yeah. You called me before this and said, kind of pitched that idea, like this is kind of what we should talk about. And I thought, yeah, that's fitting. I feel like everyone I know right now is like going through it.
Yeah, it's just, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think in how people react to it versus responding to it, that sets the tone. But the good thing is if things around you are changing, that means you're growing.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it.
So it doesn't have to be a scary thing. It needs to be an exciting thing. We talked like with Danielle Newman about that. Like the same exact emotions neurologically are happening in your head. The same chemicals are being released when you're afraid or when you're excited.
Yeah.
So framing your thought process through the struggle is important.
Yeah, trying to maintain a perspective that doesn't create like that negative energy,
Exactly.
because you can very easily, because you're stressed, it's overwhelming. I mean, I know I'm overwhelmed right now, but I try to like keep my perspective of like, this is good, things are going to be fine.
Yeah.
Just keep pushing forward.
And I think there's strength in that for sure. Without just even talking about the industry, I think the season of change, there are so many people experiencing it right now. And whether it's personal, professional, financial, job changes, I've talked to a lot of real estate agents who are like, the real estate industry is slower. I'm having to go back into some kind of workforce. And that mindset shift is a lot for them. You know what I mean? Like they're used to having their own hours and their own things, and now they're having to conform to a schedule, to a timestamp, and so I think that finding your power and your truth in that is really, really important.
Yeah. And I mean, it feels like defeat too.
Yeah.
If you like, this market is pushing a lot of agents out of the industry.
Yeah.
Like I see it all the time. And anytime I talk to somebody, if they like open up about it, I'm just like, don't see it as defeat. Like you just kind of keep evolving with the things that are happening. It's just difficult.
In regards to that, I will say I talked to someone, I won't say where they're from or their name because they would not probably appreciate it, but we were sitting there talking, and I asked a question like, what is your trick to success? Like, what is it, And this person is very, very, very extremely successful in the real estate industry. And he simply said, man, you know what? I played college football before I ever got into real estate. I played college ball, and I treated college ball like it was my job. So I was practicing 6 to 9 hours a day, whether it's practicing, lifting, running. Something went towards his goal, which was playing football. And he said, so when I got into real estate, I used the same mindset. Sure. And I showed up for 8 to 10 hours a day, every single day, because I wanted to be best. I want to be on the first draft of it. You know what I mean? And so I thought that was really profound to compare the two. Like if you want to be a great athlete and you're playing college ball and you want to get drafted into the NFL, if you're not spending your time treating it as a career and pouring the time and the dedication and the diligence and the mindset and all the things that go with that, why would they pick you?
Right. Yeah.
And so I thought about that, putting it into industry perspective, or really anyone, if there's something that you're wanting to do that's outside of your scope of a normal thing,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to have to put in the work
Yep.
and show up. And there's strength in that because it sharpens your skill set. It makes you better. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you literally sleep, eat, and breathe it.
Yeah, you have to be obsessed,
Yeah.
especially in an industry like real estate. Like you are a sole proprietor. Every single agent is your own business, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to be obsessed.
So change is coming. What's been going on with you? All of the beautiful things.
Yeah, life is good. There's nothing to truly complain about, you know. But you know, things can be hard. Running a business, being an entrepreneur is hard. You know, marriage is hard. Being a parent is hard. So
Choose your hard.
yeah, I mean, but like you said, it just depends on your perspective. You can just let it overwhelm you, and then want to check out, which has been difficult not to do sometimes, or you can just face it head on and take the challenges as they come in. So I mean, it's been good. Business is steady. I know we don't want to like obsessively talk about real estate, but it is wild. We're in June, and I've been in business for like 5 years now, and we collect data every year, and we follow the trends of like how much we're like shooting video and photos and stuff. Every year for the past 5 years, we've grown about 100 to 140% month over month.
Wow.
Like, so if like we like say March of this year, it would be like 130% growth compared to March of last year. And then like it's just been like that. This year, we're noticing like 0 to like 35% growth month to month compared to
Wow.
last year. So, and we're not like hitting a ceiling. We don't have enough of the market share to think like, oh, we have every agent in Tulsa
Right.
hiring us. Like we're still adding. We average like, I think it's like 0.8 new clients a day is like how fast we grow roughly. So like we're not hitting a ceiling or anything. That's just like the listings aren't there. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So to see it from like the perspective of like a media company, it's because we're like the ones that get the call to like
Sure.
a listing is going live, and it's just been compared to like last June. It's like it's crazy.
Well, and I mean, think about it. If people are going to list their house, they obviously are going to have to buy something. The
Yeah.
way that the market is right now, people
Mhm.
are looking at all the things that they didn't look at before, I think, and they're looking at
Yeah.
them with like eagle eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because their circumstances are changing. The circumstances out here in the industry as a whole, you know, numerically, although I like to say, and I'll say it all the time, the interest rates are normal. We were spoiled rotten
Yeah.
with low
Definitely.
interest rates. And so now people are like, well, I bought my house, you know, during the thing and I got it at 3.25. You're not going to see that again.
Right. Yeah. And
So,
I think
so stay in your house, I guess, for 15 years.
yeah, and I think my generation is a lot to blame because so I'm 30. I bought my first house in 2017, and I think rates were like in the 4s or something. So that was my first introduction to real estate. My interest rate was like 4.6, and I was like, okay, I guess that's normal. I've never bought a house. And then, you know, 3 years later, I go to buy my second house, and it was during the craziness, and we got like a 3.5. And they were like, even after I bought my house, the interest rates still kept going down. And then I just think people like the millennials we think that interest rates should be like between 2 and like 4.
Yeah,
And
not realistic,
Yeah.
guys. What generation are you?
millennial.
Okay, so generation millennial.
Yeah.
Listen up. It's not real.
Yeah. And, you know, I've talked to a lot of people, and they're like, oh, yeah, that's like, because right now, I think I just saw an email the other day. They're like in the 6s right now, upper 6s.
Which is really good.
Yeah, which is not bad.
Go talk to a baby boomer.
Yeah, exactly.
I
They
mean,
were
like what
17,
they were,
18.
yeah, 17, 18%. Like,
Yeah.
hello,
Yeah.
much worse. So I think all that to say, I think a lot of people now, it's June. I think a lot of people are mentally exhausted,
Mhm.
mentally burned out, just everything. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
oh my word. And so I really do think that through that, how people respond and what people are thinking is what actually becomes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of shifting happens, but guess what? Shift happens.
Yeah.
It's okay. Respond accordingly
Mhm.
and really think about the bigger picture. I think that's the other thing that I realized going through a lot of the transitions and things that have been going on with me is not seeing things directly in front of me. Like, look at it from a panoramic view. I know you can appreciate that, huh?
Oh yeah, I like
Get
it.
it? Yeah. Instead of looking at it from like, what is it, where it's, what is it called? Whenever the pictures are black and they're honed in, vignette.
Oh, with like the dark
Yeah.
vignetting. Yeah.
Instead of like vignette, look at it from panoramic.
Yeah.
And we're so busy looking at everything almost in that vignette focus, like looking at it in just this spot, and we're not seeing the biggest part of the picture.
Yeah.
And so we have to go through these struggles to improve ourselves.
Yep.
And it's how we respond, because if you keep reacting, then you're going to be reactionary. Your decisions then are based on emotion, and emotions will fail you every time.
Oh yeah, 100%. And like I'm a big believer in, I think there are some people just let life kind of happen to them, and they're the people that are pretty much a victim mindset most of the time, and they don't really do much to make happen. They just kind of weather the storms as they come, like their whole life. And I think it's just like a toxic mindset that they don't even realize they have. And then there are people that like get out and like create realities. They like are the ones that make life what they want. And I think for people like that, when things get really hard, even for me especially, it's sometimes like a slap in the face where you're like, what? I'm used to being in control, and I'm used to things going my way, and like I can weather some storms that come in, but I'm not used to this whole like
chaos,
the whole climate changing.
Yeah.
So
but control is the one thing that suffocates the growth.
Yeah, that's true.
It really does,
and
because we're so busy holding. You're holding on to this idea of what you think it should fall into place like. And newsflash, we're not the ones in charge.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I'm a firm believer that everything for us is predestined. Like, it's all out there and available, but which path, like, are you going to be the one taking the path through the thorn bush and then complaining and then stepping in the mud and then complaining? Or are you the one that's like, you know what, I see that, I'm going to go this way? Like, it's just in how you do it. Yeah. And what your distraction ability, people are distracting. Things are distracting. Social media is distracting. Netflix is distracting. All the things that distract you from that goal are getting in the way. And so I think that, we try to hang on to this idea of control, like it's going to go this way. And then when it goes south, people freak out. Yeah. And you're like, and honestly, through the last 6 months of change, my biggest thing has been when shift happens and I feel my control button kicking in, like stepping back and taking 24 hours to respond. Yeah. Anything before 24 hours is going to be reaction.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I'm going to freak out.
100% reactionary. Yeah, you won't be calculated. Yeah.
And part of being strategic in your life and creating a life by design is being strategic about how you're going to get there and going panoramic with it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm kind of beginning to find myself addicted to the challenge of change. Really? Which is really sick, I think. I need to talk to Danielle about that.
Something's wrong with you mentally. Yeah.
No, but I because every challenge creates an opportunity for a solution. And so my strategy brain is kind of like, okay, in that moment, I don't love it. But here's the thing. God has done a really good job of making available many, many resources, whether it's through relationships and friendships, whether it's through searching, Googling or whatever, or guess what? Ask AI. Just kidding. But there's plenty of resources to find solutions. And I've become addicted into going, okay, this is the problem. It sucks. Let's do one thing at a time, though. Do you know what I mean? And tackling it in bite size instead of trying to eat the whole cake. Yeah. And then being like, why couldn't I eat the whole cake in my mouth?
Yeah, that's a good point. And it like creates some confidence, like when you start checking boxes off. Yeah. One at a time.
You see the progress.
Yeah.
Who does a grocery list, and like you put the list, and when you're like, I got my eggs, I got my pickles. Yeah, you mark satisfying. Them off. Yeah, and then it keeps you from having to walk back and forth down the aisles because you're scratching them off, and you're like, oh, forgot raisins. Yep. Now I got to go back to aisle 14, and I'm on aisle 2.
Yeah, and you don't want to be that person that has no list, and then just goes into the grocery store hungry.
And buys everything.
Yeah, I do that a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I'll go in and I'm hungry, so like I buy things I don't need to buy.
You're like, Ann, can I also get the chicken nuggies behind the deli counter?
Yeah, exactly.
You're like eating them in the cart while you're moving.
Yeah.
Speaking of change, I hear you got a new family member.
Yeah, we got a German Shepherd, a male German Shepherd puppy. Yeah, he's 8 weeks. I guess he's 9 weeks now. But yeah, he's a good dog.
How's that going?
Good. I mean, I'll be honest. My wife has taken the blunt of that.
Good job, girlfriend. Good job.
Yeah, she's the one like getting up and dealing with it.
We need to help you get up. We need to help you help out.
Yeah.
Maybe you take the evening shift.
Yeah, maybe I should.
Yeah, that would be a great idea. You're welcome, Taylor. You're welcome.
The puppy actually, because I work a lot, so the puppy actually is like doesn't know what to think of me. He kind of just stares at me. Like I'll love on him and stuff, but I've also disciplined him, so he's just like he thinks I'm mysterious. I think he just kind of watches
that's
me walk
most people
around.
with you, Trent. I think most people think, what do we do with all of him?
So, I don't even know.
It's okay. People probably think the same with me. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like, wow, she's a whole ball of energy. I don't know. No, puppies are really fun. Again, that's a climate change.
Yeah, it's fine though.
My kids are trying to get me to get one, and it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier for me to like welcome in a puppy because I don't have to do a lot. Honestly, I just have to help when I'm home. But
it's not like welcoming an in-law or welcoming in a child,
right? Exactly.
Or a camel.
Yeah, a camel.
Yeah. I mean, just because they're big and they require a lot more room.
It's just interesting that you thought camel.
Welcome to my brain. This is how it works. I'm like, I mean, maybe you should get a camel done. Just kidding. No, everything else has been going pretty smooth. But it was definitely on my heart to, talk about struggling. A lot of people don't want to. And a lot of people are like, no, it's fine. I'm good. All things are well. And it's okay to be like, yeah, I'm totally struggling, but I'm finding solutions to the struggle.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've sometimes have laid in the office floor and just stared at the ceiling. Like, what in the hell am I doing? Why? I had such a good job. I had a good job before I left my day job. Like, I sometimes think about like, okay, remember there was a reason you left sitting behind a desk, 9 to 5.
Let's talk about that. What was your reason? What was it?
I'm not that person.
Yeah.
Spent 5 years to get that degree, then spent 5 years doing it, sitting behind a desk, and just I'm not built for an office culture, sedentary life, HR. Like, not that I'm like super inappropriate, but
bet you might be.
Slightly.
Yeah, it's
so
okay. Thank you to all of our HR people for doing that and keeping Trent away. Just kidding.
Exactly. Dress codes. Like, this is actually fitting. Like, you look nice in that blazer.
Thanks, bro.
And I'm wearing just like a t-shirt.
But that's how you like to roll.
It's how I like to roll.
I do think that we're seeing more and more of that, demographically speaking. Like, so many entrepreneurs and so many people who, they're getting into different industries because they want the flexibility. They're coming up with their own things, whether it's doing photography or I went to a networking meeting a few weeks ago, and literally, I'm not kidding, probably half of the room, when they stand up, they're like, I am like a graphic, like the person that does your marketing, like not business development, not
like graphic designs.
Yeah, like they're getting into graphic designs, or I'm a business consultant. That was a huge one. Like everybody was a business consultant, and I'm like,
really? How do you do that?
That's a great question. I did ask, and so a lot of them are like, well, I meet with you, and you tell me where your struggles are, and then we come up with it, and then I can also do management of like social media. So a lot of them are getting business from business owners because they're wanting their social media and like their platforms maintained. Yeah. Because they're like, I'm not that kind of person. I hear lots of people say that, like, I'm not the kind of person. I don't want to get on Facebook or Instagram or any of that, but I know that it needs to be happening.
Right. Yeah. Well, we have a marketing department, in quotes, that Autumn does. And what's so funny is like, I'm so backwards as a business person. You'd think I would be like pedal to the floor trying to like get as many accounts. I literally like don't advertise that we do it. I don't even hardly tell people. I guess I'm saying that now, but we don't get 1 million views. But
not yet.
I literally will like be like, okay, we have like enough time in Autumn's schedule where she could give someone attention to like run their media. And so like right now I have a meeting this week with a brokerage because I decided like, okay, we can add one more. And then I decided what brokerage I wanted to reach out to.
I love it.
And I even told them like, let's just talk and see if you guys want to do it. And if not, I will reach out to someone else.
Yeah.
But once we get those spots filled, I'm like not interested in getting
because it becomes a time consuming.
Yeah. And I don't want to staff up for that type of work.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they want it done. Like in our experience, people hang around for about a year doing that. Mm-hmm. And then when they get to like when they need to start cutting expenses, one of the first things you'll cut is like, oh, we're spending $400 a month for someone to post on like Facebook, you know.
Yeah.
Like those things, those are easy expenses to just cut and like try to trim back. So we've noticed it's usually like a year, and then they'll cut it, and then like 6 months later they'll come back, and it would just stress me out to like hire staff and that be their whole job.
Can you imagine being that person though?
What person?
Like you're the person who is doing all of the Facebook management and all that, and like people are making cuts. You're the first to go like, bro, you didn't even cut the toilet paper budget down. And I'm out. Like on what planet?
It is a pain. It is a pain because we're so intertwined in like all of their like accounts. So, you know, like canceling it is like, God. All right, okay.
It's like canceling my home security. I've got to go through 15 channels. And I'm like, never mind. You know what? I'll keep paying for it even though I don't own the home.
Yeah,
exactly. It's fine. I don't want to go through all the paperwork. It's good.
Yeah. So, yeah, that is a good business, though. Like if someone was just managing that, we just offer it because one, Autumn is just good at it, and it's kind of fitting for a media company.
It is definitely fitting.
Yeah. I don't like it, though. I don't like Facebook or
really
any of it.
See, I love it.
Yeah.
It's
you do a good job on it too.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I work really hard at it. I do love it, but it's also for me, it fills that space that I'm like, I love connecting with people and seeing how they're doing, and you know, watching their kids grow and watching them wakeboard on the lake. Yeah.
Those are the things I'll post sometimes, but then I'll like go dark for like 2 months. I won't really post anything.
Yeah, if you go through your actual Facebook, there's months missing.
Really?
Well, he was not in a good headspace.
But you know what? PMC's Facebook is amazing.
Yeah. Thank you, Autumn.
Yeah. Well, she didn't even run ours. I literally, it doesn't make any sense.
Who runs yours?
So I have one of my best friend's wife.
Okay.
She was a teacher, and then they had their kid, and he's an engineer. He makes good money, so she stays home with the baby, but she's like, she can't just stay home with the baby. So I started like mentoring her with photography. Her name's Savannah, and she lives in Oklahoma City. And so she's kind of doing some photography like on the side, like baby photos and family photos and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she's the sweetest person ever. And I asked her like, cause she's really good at Facebook and stuff.
Yeah.
I said, do you want to run Pollard Media's stuff? And she was like, sure.
I'd love to. Oh my goodness, it's the man of the hour.
Yeah, it don't matter though. Come on in. So yeah, she runs a Facebook. Our Facebook page is so good too. If you like read all of the stuff she says, I'm like, how do you come up with that?
Because she's brilliant.
Yeah, she's talented.
Well, that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
We'll see how much
Kyle's
is
here.
on there, and Kyle's on here.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we just filmed like a one-on-one.
Yeah, we were just kind of catching up. We may use